The news headlines on BBC One Now from Bill Spencer.
England cricketer Ian Botham has been cleared of assault. He'd been charged with punching and kicking a Royal Naval apprentice outside a nightclub in Scunthorpe, causing him actual bodily harm. But the jury couldn't reach a verdict after deliberating for almost 5 hours. And when the prosecution offered no further evidence, the judge pronounced him not guilty. Prince Andrew has taken part in the rescue of a drowning Navy seaman off the west coast of Scotland. He was at the controls of a Sea King helicopter on a training exercise when the man was swept overboard from a submarine. The man was picked up safely by Prince Andrew's helicopter. A tough new scheme to curb the power of high-spending local authorities to raise rates has been agreed by a committee of ministers. The scheme will go before the full cabinet tomorrow, where it's expected to be approved. One alternative would allow the government to order a local referendum. The other would involve a new council election. In the city, shares have had their biggest fall in one day for more than 7 years. The Financial Times index dropped below the 500 mark as worries about the economy continued. The Public Employees Union NUPE has called on more than 2 million public service workers to fight together against the government's 4% cash limit. Water and sewerage workers with a claim of more than 11% are the first group to challenge the limit. The Labour Party's national executive has condemned hecklers who shouted down Mr. Healey in Birmingham last weekend. It's an issue which has influenced the final stages of the battle between the two main contenders for Labour's deputy leadership. But the executive rejected a full inquiry into the heckling. The foreign ministers of the United States and the Soviet Union are having the first top-level talks between their two countries since President Reagan took office. Yesterday, the Americans were accused of arms race madness by Mr. Gromyko, and Mr. Hague has said he does not expect any major outcome from this first encounter at the United Nations. And finally, Sebastian Coe has become the first elected spokesman for world athletes at the Olympic Congress in West Germany. He'll present the athletes' view on problems like professionalism, drugs, and South African sport. That's all from me. Good night.
Now, these are Thursday's programmes on BBC One. At 5 to 7, Tomorrow's World will be looking at the latest scientific advances, including a new American approach to treating some forms of cancer. And then at 7:20, Top of the Pops, introduced by Simon Bates. Terry Wogan hosts another game of Blankety-Blank at 8 o'clock, and then at 8:30, Part 3 of the thriller by John Wyndham, The Day of the Triffids. After the 9 o'clock news, a new 4-part drama serial based on Michael Sadleir's famous novel about Victorian hypocrisy, Fanny by Gaslight. At 10:20, we go behind the scenes with the Mermaid Theatre in London during the weeks leading up to its reopening last July. Finally, at 10:50, a further look at the defence of the United States, focusing on the huge cost of maintaining and developing the US arms industry. Programmes tomorrow on BBC One. And now here's Anne Purvis with the outlook on tomorrow's weather.
Good evening. Well, these fronts brought a fair bit of rain to Scotland and Northern Ireland during the daylight hours, and that rain's getting on to northern and western parts of England and Wales now, and it'll carry on pushing eastwards across much of central and eastern parts during the course of tonight, so reaching East Anglia and Kent before the night is out. But it is being followed by drier, clearer weather from the west now, a few showers still about, and that clearer weather will be pushing on across much of England and Wales throughout tonight and tomorrow morning. But there is an added complication because we are expecting a ripple to form on the cold front, and that's going to hold its progress eastwards back. So although it'll clear for a time in central and eastern parts tomorrow, bringing clearer weather and showery type of weather into those parts, there will be this ripple that'll run up, bringing further rain back into central and eastern parts during the evening time. And then after that, for Friday and Saturday, it's mainly a showery type of picture, sunny intervals and scattered showers. But that's in the outlook. Let's have a look now at the chart for tonight. And there's the main rain band down these western parts of England and Wales, still perhaps in the southeast of Scotland as well. But it'll be working its way eastwards across the rest of central and eastern parts of England during the course of the night. At the same time as well, it will be becoming a lot clearer over these western parts by the end of the night. I mean, that clearer weather's already into Scotland and Northern Ireland now. Perhaps, though, just leaving a few showers around the western coast. And then for tomorrow, well, Scotland, Northern Ireland, more northern and western parts of England and Wales, is a day of sunny intervals and showers, most of the showers being in the west. Central and eastern parts, though, are going to start off with a lot of cloud and rain, but that'll slowly ease up from the west during the course of the morning and the afternoon. But I'm afraid we are expecting further rain to get into these central and eastern parts from the southwest